Gracious God, creator of the universe, and yet the lover of my soul. Alpha and Omega, and yet I can call you friend. I don't have to beg you for anything, but I can thank you for everything. God, I thank you because this is the day that you have made, and I can rejoice and be glad in it. Thank you for this day of magnificence and glory and splendor. God, I thank you for life, health, and for strength. I thank you for soundness of mind. I thank you for peace, love, and joy. I thank you for the essence of you that envelops me right now, from the crown of my head to the soles of my feet. We thank you for this day of manifestation. We thank you for the day of revelation. We thank you for the day of impartation. We thank you as you move in the midst of your people to bring us to the greatest times that we've ever seen since the foundation of the world. Thank you, Lord, that for this time and for this season, you've allowed us to be a part of your move in the face of the earth. I thank you, God, for the revolution that you're bringing forth, God, even in the midst of the earth right now. And I thank you for the opportunity to be a part of what you're doing in this hour, because in the last days, saith God, you said you would pour out your spirit on all flesh. And so now we thank you for the pouring out. God, I thank you for the rain and the move of your spirit. I thank you for fresh oil. I thank you for new wine. I thank you for the new thing that you're doing. I thank you now that it does spring forth. I thank you, Lord, that you've called us to be the head and not the tail. You've called us to be above only and not beneath. You've called us to be the lender and not the borrower. You've called, God, that our storehouses would be full and increase. God, I thank you because even I decree and declare that the people under the sound of my voice, even now, are moving in the might of your strength. Not by might nor by power, but by your spirit. I thank you for those that are the sons and daughters of God that are called because they walk not after the flesh, but after your spirit. I thank you for the rising up of the people of your kingdom. I thank you that your kingdom come. I thank you that your will be done, even now in earth as it is in heaven. I thank you, Lord, because you are moving in the midst of your people mightily as never before. Raise us up, oh God, to the standard of what you've called us to be. God, I thank you for the standard of greatness. I thank you for the standard of holiness. I thank you for the standard of moving as the sons and daughters of yours, and not as vagabonds, not as those that never knew you, not as those that are confused and confounded, but God, those that know who they are in you. I thank you for the knowing. I thank you, God, for knowing you. I thank you for knowing your presence. Thank you for knowing your Holy Ghost power that gives us the ability to be successful. Your anointing that gives us the power to rise up and be called blessed. Thank you for that is in us. Thank you, God, for all things that pertain to life and godliness. Thank you because we are not confused. We are not deceived. And we thank you for that clarity of mind and the clarity of vision that allows us to walk forth as kings and queens, as princes and princesses in the kingdom that walk in the earth. We thank you that we are your beloved, and we rise up as the apple of your eye. We rise up, oh God, as those that you love with all of your heart. And God, we love you back. I thank you for soundness of mind. I thank you for soundness of spirit. I thank you that healing is our bread. Healing is our deliverance. By the stripes of Jesus, we're already healed. And we speak forth that healing even now for those that need it. Thank you, God, for every stripe that was taken. Thank you for the bruising. Thank you that he was wounded for our transgressions, bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him. God, with those same stripes we declare and we speak healing in Jesus' name. We give you glory. We give you peace. We give you honor. We give you blessing. We give you might. We ascribe all of these things unto you because they are yours. Thank you. The fruit of my lips giving thanks unto your name, ever giving you all that is yours. Glory, honor, power, dominion, majesty. It's yours. I decree it and I speak it In the mighty name of Jesus, it is so. Amen and amen.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is another beautiful week, another beautiful day, and I am wanting to welcome you to Yes, You, all cubed, one-on-one, just me and you. It is just marvelous to have you with me on this fine day. Today is Tuesday, November the 3rd in the year 2020. I saw Teresa Jones say good morning to the world. I want to say good morning to the world as well. And I definitely, let me stop before I get started. We got all of our everything we want to do for those that came on in the room, and you know how we do. I'm trying to look for something here in particular. But I definitely want to say good morning. Studio was out. I want to definitely say good morning to Ein's Trigger, who got married, and it was a beautiful wedding. We want to congratulate you. Congratulations, Ein's Trigger. I did get a chance to watch the wedding, and it was absolutely phenomenal. They did it outside, y'all, and it was beautiful. Oh, yeah, it was nice, y'all. It was nice. It was absolutely beautiful. And I want to congratulate them and wish them many, many, many years of marital bliss in this life. Well, this morning I want to say thank you for coming in and seeing me on today. My goodness, I could not believe it. That's right. Get those congratulatory remarks going, because we wish them all positive energy in. Listen, we are bringing up this Lions pride, this pride of Lions right here. That's where you are. Yes, you, oh, cubed, one-on-one, just me and you. And we want these Lions to have many, many blissful years together. I could not believe it this morning. The winner of Grandpa Holmes's chair was Royal Confessions. Come on, y'all, give it up for Royal Confessions. She did that thing. I said, what? I could not believe it. She beat BTD Mom in the room, and she beat BTD Mom to the chair. So congratulations, Royal Confessions. Girl, you know I love you. You know I love you. And you know what? She's always out there in the background lurking and listening and watching. But today, she actually was the first one to get in my chat and start talking. But BTD Mom was right on her heels, right there behind her. Yes, Chris King G, the Rebel Inc., Jams JJ. I want to say Teresa Jones, Monica, I see you out there. Ein's Trigger, Jams JJ. Oh my goodness. SK8843, BTD Mom. I hope I haven't missed anybody, because I always want to appreciate those of you that come in my chat. Now, there are a lot of people that are not in my chat, and I'm saying good morning to you also. Thank you for the biddies, Triggered. Thank you for the biddies. I want to say thank you to those of you that are not in my chat. I always like to remind you, this is Yes, You, O Cubed. That O Cubed stands for one-on-one. Yes, You, O Cubed, where it's one-on-one, just me and you, and you're welcome to get in this chat and chat with us on this fine day. Come on in, get your coffee. How do we like that coffee? Y'all know we have that delicious coffee every morning. No sugar, no cream. We likes it strong and black, cause we tells it like it T-I-Z tis. I want to say thank you to the Rebel Inc., who is my corporate sponsor from day one. She has been, thank you for the biddies. Y'all coming on with offering early in the morning. I want to say the Rebel Inc. always blesses me, and I appreciate the Rebel Inc. for that corporate support. I want you to go out there and check it out, therebelinc.com. yes, I tell you, the rebelinc.com, go out there and check it out. But I also want to say to my sponsors for this week, it's already coming in. I appreciate you. BTD Mom, Main Man, and Nathan Lamont. I appreciate your personal private support. Thank you so much. And I want you to know from the bottom of my heart, I couldn't do this without you all. And everybody that comes up in this channel, in this room, I'm saying channel and room all at the same time. My brain's going many, many different directions. I want to say thank you because your physical presence is support. And I appreciate you for that as well. Well, we're going to get this party started. We're going to get it crack-a-lacking. And we got music that's queuing up. I just want to say that today's today's broadcast is dedicated to my late nephew, David Ryan Edwards, whose birthday is today. And this is our first year without my baby, and it's all about you today. Let the church say amen. Well, while we slumbered, slept, and slobbered, I want y'all to know, I'm going to start a little bit on the light side, if that's okay, because I know we could go straight in and just get real, real heavy. Yeah, love me some him. I loved him too. I tell you what, if I wanted to get heavy, I could right off the bat, but I said I want to find something out here that's a little bit different while we slumbered, slept, and slobbered. While we slumbered, slept, and slobbered. Listen. I want you to know that Madea, otherwise known to many of us as Tyler Perry, has finally come to the conclusion he needs to hire some writers. He needs to hire some writers. And so as he is passing the torch, he's inviting writers and those that want to get started. And I think, hey, there's nothing wrong with it. This man, you saw that too, Chris. It's nothing wrong with him letting some other folk come in and get in on a little of this, because you know we want some fresh ideas. We want some fresh stuff rolling. Now, at the end of the day, I know SK, it was really funny, but at the same time, this is what I have to back up and acknowledge this brother, because at the end of the day, he is number 7 of American black billionaires in this country. Number 7. He's joining the ranks. Now, listen, he said, while everybody wants to throw shade at him, thank you for the biddies. While everybody wants to throw shade at him, it's working. People love it. The audiences eat it up. Now, Tyler, I want to tell you the truth. If there's some other folk out there like me, y'all come on and tell me in the chat. I want you to know, Tyler, there's some of us like me. Yeah, come on, get it, Tyler, get it. But there's some of us like me who just support a brother because we want you to make it. Do you hear what I'm saying, Tyler? We want you to make it. So we do support you, even though some of those storylines are getting a little old. They're getting a little tired. Pieces made of steel. We rolled, we hee-hee, we kikied. You tore us up with Madea. And as a matter of fact, you need to bring Madea back. Could you do that, please? Could you? But we loved all of that. Chris, I'm trying to tell it like it T-I-Z tis. We drink our coffee black. No sugar, no cream. We tells it like it T-I-Z tis. Now, some of y'all mad with me because y'all love Tyler. Everything he puts out there, y'all love it. It doesn't matter. But I don't know. Maybe it's just me. And I love the brother. I'm giving him a thank you for the biddies. I'm giving Tyler, man, I'm giving you all the love in the world. But you need some fresh writers. You need some fresh ideas, SK. You need some, because we've seen that same plot about 20 times now. And with the same tired jokes, and unless Medea's in it, it ain't funny. Now, I know you said you tired of that fat suit. You're tired of putting it on. But listen, sometimes you got to stay with what got you there, brother. Because listen, at the end of the day, we love the Browns. We love David. We love Tamala. We love all them folk you've been bringing up in the show. But at the end of the day, come on, man. Now, he's coming under fire. At least he's open. I'm at you, BTG Mom. I'm with you. At least he's open. And at the end of the day, like he said, y'all want to rag on me and talk about what I'm doing, but can I say it again? He's the 7th black American billionaire in this country. Now, when I saw that, I said, now who else is there? He's now joining the ranks of tech investor, philanthropist, Robert F. Smith. I don't even know who that is, but sometimes that's what you got to do. Make your money and keep it quiet, because Auntie them and cousin of them and all them folks start coming out the woodwork, and they'll say, I got some of your DNA and I need some of your money. Listen, whoever Robert F. Smith is, investor and philanthropist, he said, I ain't telling y'all I got no money, because y'all not gonna be on my doorstep in the morning talking about, can I get a loan? Can you help a brother out? Can you help a sister? I couldn't pay my rent this month. Can you just give me a taste of change? Can you just breathe on me a little bit and give me just a little bit of money? He said, no, I ain't even gonna tell y'all I got no money. So listen, now I'm letting the cat out of the bag. You heard it? Yes, you O-Cube, till Friday. I just need it till Friday, Nathan. I'm gonna give it. And how many of y'all know Friday never comes? Can I get my own money back and get mad at you when you ask for your own money? We just need it till Friday. We just need it till Friday. I got you, Nathan. That's it. Robert Smith, he ain't gonna tell you he's a billionaire, but he is. Followed by NBA legend Michael Jordan. Y'all better let Michael get some, cause honey, he cut off his hair, put them Jordans on his feet, and y'all still the man is retired. Y'all still buying them shoes, and I ain't mad. Michael said, I'm gonna choose a seat and sit down. Number 2, then we come on to media mogul Oprah Winfrey. Oprah, listen. Can you spare a dime? Just and y'all know y'all trying to get tickets right now to her show so you can get that Christmas gift where everybody gets, you get a car, you get a car, you get a car. Come on, tell the truth. You know you trying to get that ticket so you can hear her say you get a car. Oprah. And then we're followed by tech founder David Stewart. Do y'all know who David Stewart is? I don't know David either. These tech giants, these tech moguls, they said, listen, we're going to make our money. We're going to chill and kick back, and we're not going to tell you a thing. Because at the end of the day, if you don't know I got money, you won't be begging me for money. And then followed by our hip hop heavyweights, Jay-Z and Kanye West. Those are our 7 top black billionaires, the ones that have broken through. And so Tyler said, I'm on the list. I'm number 7. And so while y'all, now that doesn't mean he's number 7 in his wealth. He's just the 7th one to break through. So when we look at who's out there, Tyler said, y'all can talk to y'all blue in the face. Y'all can laugh at me and say what you want to say. I'm number 7. And 7 is the number of completion. Thank ya. So come on, Tyler, with that thing. I wanted to open with that. Now, some of y'all tell stories so good, and some of your children lie so good. They need to go ahead and sign up with Tyler, because you know folks that tell whoppers. I mean whoppers. They got an imagination that runs from A to Z to A prime to Z prime, and they need to be writing for Tyler because he needs some good material. Are y'all with me in the house? Come on here. Now I'm trying to swing around. Wow, let me stop real quick because I rolled past this one. The Root is honoring and mourning, and we are still mourning the loss of our legendary singer, Rance Allen. We miss Rance. Rance is all of that in a bag of chips. So as they're saying, he has now joined the heavenly choir, and we sure gonna miss you, Rance. We gonna miss you. And I tell you what, he had to represent for the big boys. That's what I liked about Rance. Now, he might have tipped over like he was about to fall, but he didn't fall down. Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. Rance would get out there, and I'm telling you, that brother represented for the big boys because he would cut a rug. Do you hear me? He would dance and he would slide across that floor. They were showing some footage I was watching over the weekend, and baby, y'all remember how the James Brown, he used to, yeah, I'm telling the truth, Lamont, Nathan, he would get them feet, and you know James Brown used to do that move where his feet slid across the floor. They never came up off the floor, they just slid around and went back and forth. Rance tore that dance up. Do y'all hear me? Rance tore it up. He said, I represent, and that's the thing I love about it. We ain't body shaming over here. I'm saying everybody get you some. Let the skinny folk get you some. Let the heavy folk get you some. Let everybody in the house, the whole church, everybody get you some. Rance, rest in peace, my brother. You're going to be really missed. And even though I'm being silly here, I'm very serious. You are a great talent that is, in a lot of our estimation, gone too soon, even though you did your work and it's time for you to go home. God bless you, man. We love you. We love you. Now, I also wanted to touch on this. The youngest African American and the youngest to become a certified Boeing 777 pilot is 23 years old. That's what we're reporting in Black Enterprise on this morning, while you slumbered, slept, and slobbered. Now, I'm gonna say this because Jams JJ, listen, that's it, Monica, get you some. Really, I want to kind of give a shout out to Jams JJ, who has a brother who was a pilot. And I believe he was the first black pilot to fly the Pope. Tell me if I'm correct in that, Jams JJ. Pilots are not something that we see a lot in our arena for people of color. This young black brother at the age of 23, I'm loving it. Y'all know anytime. And I really wanted to bring that up today while we're getting ready to talk about all, thank you for the biddies, Monica. Yes. Put your, if I don't know if it's okay to put your brother's name in there or not, but he was the first black pilot to fly the Pope. And so when I looked at this story, and I got a chance to meet him, we went down, 777 pilot, SK, and you know that's your field because you did for years and years and years in air traffic. So you know all about it. So we're giving him, I'm glad y'all reminded me. Let's give him some cheers. 23 years old. At the age of 23, I want to appreciate that this brother has gone on, and he's out of Biloxi, Mississippi. Don't tell me what Mississippi can't do. And I think a lot of times we need to get another mindset. His name is Malik Senegal. Malik Senegal is now the youngest ever to become a certified Boeing 777 pilot in the country. That's how we do it. That's how we lay it down. And listen, this is what I want us to really start getting the minds of our young people. A lot of these areas where particularly blacks, but this, hey, I'm open for everybody, but I'm talking to my community where we may be bringing up the rear in some of these areas. We are not excluded if we don't exclude ourselves. Do you hear what I said? Come on. I appreciate you, Trigger. We are not excluded if we don't exclude ourselves. I know, SK, I got a chance to meet him when I had to preach down in at Allen Temple AME, which is one of the mother churches of the AME churches in Georgia, in Atlanta. And I was blessed to go there and preach. And while we were there, Joanna's brother was so hospitable. And he didn't know me from Adam. He just, that's the way we are. That's the way we do. We just, did I go? I lost my signal. Did I lose my signal, y'all? I'm trying to see if it's coming back. Talk to me if all y'all can see me there. Let me put that on hold for just a second. Is everybody seeing me? Can everybody see me? Because on my screen, I think my Twitch. Here we go. Let's see if it's coming back. Are we coming back? Okay, I'm on buffering. We're buffering. Okay, here we come. It came on back. It came on back. Let me know when you see me. Talk to me in the chat and let me know when you see me. Uh-huh. No. The Rebel Inc. It's not just you. I don't know what happened right there, but I buffered there for a second, but I think I'm back. I hope everybody's back with me. We're gonna keep right on going. So here we go. I see you. Let me know when I'm back. Let me know. Back now. Thank you, SK. Okay, here we go. We're rolling on. So I was in Atlanta and I had to preach, and thank you, Trigger. Thank you, BTD Mom. Thank you. I don't know what happened there, but we're gonna keep on rolling. So at the end of the day, I was there, and I was there for an extended period, and it was a blessing. It really, really was. And this is the way we used to do back in the day. And I'm believing. Thank you. Back to life, back to reality. You better come on, Nathan Lamont. So as we, I don't know if I lost feed to, is anybody out there? If you are particularly on Facebook, talk to me. No, Monica, you didn't mess up. I'm trying to see if Teresa, if you're out there in my Facebook audience, y'all let me know, and I'm gonna keep rolling. But just chat me something in my chat, Facebook, so that I can know that you're still there. Anybody that's out there still in Facebook, and YouTube. All right, but this is the way we used to do back in the day. You didn't have to know somebody. Now, I knew Joanna. Joanna was connected to me, and when we went down to Atlanta, because I knew Joanna, he opened up his home to me like I was his sister, like I was somebody that he had known forever. And you talk about great hospitality, and I was so excited when I went into the room, and of course he's proud of that accomplishment, as he should be. When he began to show me the pictures of him flying the Pope, and he began to show me all of the different things, awards and great things that he had done in aviation, I got proud. I'm not gonna lie, I got proud. Something inside of me felt good. We feel good. Oh, we feel so good. That's a cheer we used to do at Bonner. I felt so good when I walked in that room and saw all of the special things that he had accomplished in his years of aviation. Again, in an avenue, in an area that we don't necessarily find a lot of participation in. So when I see this 23-year-old, it's an accomplishment. It's an accomplishment for all of us. And that's the thing, because the village embraces it. The village feels it. So even this morning to Malik, the village feels this accomplishment, that at 23 years old, you're able to fly something, and you're able to break that record on that 777 Boeing that has never been done before. One more time. We feel the accomplishment. We're proud of you. And I'm telling you, we love it. We love it. We love it. And let's keep sending those positive vibes out there, because I want the young people to know they can do something different. They can be something different. And even doors that were once blocked or closed, we can walk through them. We can kick those doors open and walk through. All I need to do is see some determination. So again, I wanted to come this morning. I said, I know we got everybody's talking about the elections and all of the different things all night long. I think I woke up this morning around 2 o'clock in the morning, and I mean, it's just been nonstop. I said, I don't want to necessarily start that way. Malik, that's it. One more time, Nathan. Give it up for Malik. That's his name. Now, these young people are doing some inspiring things. Another thing that touched me this morning, while we slept and slumbered from the young Navajo Nation, there is a young woman, a young girl, who said, we're taking this country back for our ancestors. So Yahoo is reporting that across the country we're seeing all kinds of things going on, but they have a very young activist by the name of Allie Young who is in Kayenta, Arizona. And this is what she did. She went out and grabbed up all of, it is difficult, but it's doable. I'm sorry, I just saw that, James JJ. She gathered up the tribes people and said, we're going to do this. And I love it that the voting is at record numbers right now. And I'm hopeful that those record numbers are indicative that we are saying collectively, we've had enough. She said, I am getting my people and I'm going out there and we're going to get it together. And so this is what they did. She got on her horse and led them by horseback to the polls. She said, because this is in honor and in memory of our ancestors, and we're going to do this together, and we're going to pay homage to our ancestors as we go. And they mounted their horses, and on behalf of the Navajo tribes, they rode to the polls on horseback. I love it. I love it. Because you know what? What that says to me, number one, the young people are, thank you for the biddies. The young people are saying, we're not forgetting where we've come from, and we're reaching and looking forward to a future. So in this action, symbolically, by saying we're paying homage to our ancestors and all that we've done, lions roar. Come on, SK. It's positive energy. Positive energy. And that's what I'm trying to get people to understand. If 2020 didn't do anything else, it has activated all of this energy that we see going, and the lions are roaring. Yes, yes, yes. I'm loving it because there is the pride, Pride, of lions that are banding together, and they're saying, we can do this. We can make a difference. We can make a change. And I do feel like this young Navajo sister. That's it, Monica. The lions are loose. I want us to understand that our young people are feeling the energy of our ancestors. I do believe that. And they're not eliminating the reality and the acknowledgement. We could not be here today if it was not for you. I'm going to start here, and I just want to kind of reflect. Roar, that's it. This pride is relentless, and you're going to hear us roar. That's it. That's it. I'm a shade for a second because when we talk about the Native Americans, listen, every step of this journey, I feel like we cannot exclude our Native American brothers and sisters, because outside of black bodies, I don't know of anybody. Our bodies and our labor was stolen, but their whole dadgum land was stolen. You hear me? Stolen. And you know what? I watched over the weekend, and this is why I shaded. As a matter of fact, I think I watched it yesterday. It was so powerful and so moving. I was almost tore up to tears, because you know it doesn't take a lot for me because I have a very tender heart. But Sand Creek Massacre in the Denver, Colorado area. I have to say it was a story that I had never heard before. Trail of Tears, all those other things, yes. But I had not necessarily heard all of the dastardly, I'm telling you, dastardly. Oh my God. The dastardly treatment that happened in Sand Creek. And this was, I'm telling you, it's dastardly. Could it be? Y'all know I couldn't go too long during the day, could I? I had to get it in. Could it be? Could it be? The devil? I'm telling you. Uh-oh, wrong one. I'm telling you. I said, and I listened to this story. Nothing but that old slimy devil. And I'm bringing this up because we're talking about, my word for the day is going to be change. And I know a lot of times we focus in, when we talk about civil rights and human rights, but particularly civil rights, we immediately go to black people. But there are so many groups out there, but especially I have to talk on behalf of our indigenous brothers and sisters. This was their land, y'all. This land is your land. This land is my land from California. No, it wasn't your land. It was not your land. You took it, stole it. So at the end of the day, this is the thing that just devastated me about this story. And Sand Creek Massacre needs to be heard. It needs to be told more and more and more, because I feel like, just like this Navajo sister said, we're going to get on our horses and we're going to ride together as a tribe. You just read a book about Sand Creek and cried. It's too cruel to imagine, SK. It really, really is. And so I have to stop right here, because we're talking about change, but we need change for everybody. And this is why that story grabbed me. This young sister and the tribe that rode on behalf of the Navajo. Sand Creek, in Denver, Colorado, you had chiefs of tribes, of the Arapaho, the Cherokee, who they had no violence towards the settlers. Now, you had the governor of Colorado, who, when they found gold, y'all know how folks get, the greed sets in. When they found gold in them dar hills, greed set in. Now, even with them finding gold, the chiefs of those nations were not advocating violence, and they had no problem with the settlers coming in and living peaceably with them. The issue, you don't just want to cohabitate, you want to take it over. Something that is not yours, you want to take it over. You giddy thing. That's what my nephew, he was a little bitty baby. He was just getting to talking and carrying on. He was saying, you greedy thing. He said, you giddy ting. You giddy ting. Well, listen, I look at these settlers and I have to talk and say what Bradley said. You giddy ting. Here we are. And they agree to all of the treaties that the government makes with them. The government makes with them. And you have a governor. And shall we call his name? Because we got a petition right now for those of you that are voting in Jackson County to take his statue down. That takeover spirit, Nathan, that takeover spirit. We've got a petition right now to take down all of these racist statues of Jackson. And even our county is named after. So you have these greedy folk between the president and the governor of Colorado, because they don't just want a piece, they want it all. So here you have the governor who asked for federal troops. Does that sound familiar? That sounds like some mess going on right now today. They asked for some federal troops to come in and tell this story of how they think there's going to be an uprising and this and that and the other. Now, the Native Americans were not doing anything. They were following the treaty to a T. Went and met The people that governed several times to try to make sure that they could keep peace. These were peacekeeping chiefs at Sand Creek and the surrounding areas. But at the end of the day, we get this whole of lying. I mean, these folks are just straight up lying.
Why you always lying?
Y'all think that 45 just started this? No, ma'am, no, sir. This has been going on really since the founding of this country. That's why when we talk about make America great again, make it great the first time. Stop taking people's stuff that doesn't belong to you. And at the end of the day, I'm just like this. The same way I'm talking about reparations. And listen, what we got going on these reservations and the little stuff that we're doing, that ain't no reparations. And even now, listen to me, Oklahoma, even now, your governor is trying to get passage so that the treaties that are being honored up to this point can be taken away. No. I need you to go somewhere and sit down. Have 2 seats. I can't even believe it. What are you doing? As if you all have not done enough dastardly deeds. Dastardly. You're just dastardly. As if you haven't already done enough dastardly deeds. You want to take away the little bit that you did give them. And I contend that we need to fight for our indigenous brothers and sisters like never before. Because when I look back, and I don't care, we didn't do that. That was, listen, we did that. I don't care. Demand change and recognize the bad treatment. You don't just walk off like you didn't do anything. Yes, you did. They, in the end, and to make a long story short, PBS has a documentary out, SK 8843. If you want to put the title of the book that you read on this is real stuff. This is real stuff. It's not made up. It's stuff that gets whitewashed. It's stuff that doesn't get told. It's stuff that gets buried. But it's real. So I understand Sister Navajo saying we're going to pay reverence. We want justice for everybody, Chris. We want justice for everybody, SK. If we look at it, let me tell you what they did. And all of this because some greedy folk wanted land and gold. Whoever owns the land. How you just gonna come in and take somebody's land? And this is the part that just breaks my heart. While we want to call the Native Americans savages and beasts and heathens, they were the ones that showed humanity. After they sent for the federal troops and they raised the militia amongst the people there, the 3rd militia they raised out of Colorado in that area, they lied to these people, gathered them together, had them turn over their weapons, which the Native Americans had no problem with because they trusted that the government was going to keep their word to the treaty. And they're showing good faith. Hand over all of their weapons. The Sand Creek Massacre by Charles River Editors. Thank you so much, SK. Get that book, educate yourself, because we need to fight, we need to speak, we need to stand up for our indigenous brothers and sisters because they're still being messed over. They, in good faith, turned over all of their stuff. And then, after gathering them together, those troops massacred men, children, women, boys, girls, killed them unarmed, like fish in a bowl, mutilated them. Reports were that soldiers were taking 7, 8-year-old children and doing target practice with them. Target practice with little kids. And then cutting off body parts as a souvenir. Now who? Tell me who is the savage? That's real stuff. Those are real stories. And so, yes, then Jackson continued on with his dastardly deeds. Target practice. You hear me? Target practice with children. I tell you, I watched those Native Americans tell their story, and the historians, because there are many white historians that are testing. This ain't no made up tale. This is true what America did to the Native Americans. Target practice with little kids, unarmed, just because you wanted that land that had gold on it. So when you talk about, and this is a point that one of the representatives from the tribe said, I'm telling you, it's heart-wrenching. One of the things that the tribe member said, so when we glorify, when America glorifies our westward push and settling of the country, what we fail to tell in glorifying that story is all of the indigenous people that got massacred and displaced as a result. Because somehow manifest destiny, which only benefits wealthy white people, somehow manifest destiny got planted in the hearts of the American people that they believed that God, by some virtue of the color of their skin, entitled them, privileged them to wherever the soles of their feet touched, it belonged to them. And who cares about the people that we kill and maim along the way? And it wouldn't be so bad if you weren't so dastardly in the deeds. And it's bad. I can't even say that. I can't even put that out into the universe. It's bad. Any way you look at it, it's bad. But when you are so ugly and damnable that you have such little regard for human life that you play target practice with little children, what is wrong with you? The same thing that's wrong with you in 2020, that you can put your knee on the neck of George Floyd and actually lynch him in front of millions of people and you feel nothing but justified. Something's wrong with you. Nothing but that old slimy devil. Could it be? Could it be? The devil. And SK, you are right. The original white evangelicals, because the man that they utilized to raise that third army was the preacher. What preacher goes out and lends himself to a militia that takes little kids and kills them for target practice? It's damnable and dastardly. And so Why do I say that? This behavior did not just start. This behavior did not just begin. And at the end of the day, these are not isolated incidents that happen from time to time here and there. This is the behavior that has been throughout the duration of this American existence that has been taken over by privileged, wealthy, white people that believe it's their right to do it with no consequence. With no consequence, y'all. And these are the things that we have to address. We've got to stop dancing around the truth. And we've got to stop whitewashing reality. Because this behavior that we as Black people are still experiencing, we as transgender are still experiencing, we as LGBTQ are still experiencing, we as all of the other represented and protected groups, including women, we still are under oppression, and it must stop. It's not okay. I watched a video of a transgender that was beaten to death, and they called the police, and the police drove up and kept driving and drove on by as they beat the person to death. Oh yeah, I watched the video. And at the end of the day, for people, I don't care who you are, and I don't care who and what you feel like you disagree with. When you can see injustice done to anybody, yes, SK, Indian removal was overt government policy. Jackson put it in motion, and they were glad to do it. And it's not your land. But you rewrote treaties and you rewrote lines. And that's how half of the states got entered in, because under that dastardly movement, under those dastardly realignments, and all of that you did to take over that land, and then turn around and act like it was yours all along. And then get mad at people when they say we've got to do something different. You owe somebody something. Then it's socialism. Am I talking to anybody in here? Socialism, to do right by the people that you did wrong? That's socialism? And I'm going to say again, Oklahoma, because I could not believe my ears when I heard the governor saying they've paid their debt long enough. Oh yeah, and so sad, injustice. Turning a blind eye makes you just as guilty. You're complicit. You are complicit. And I feel like we need to speak for our indigenous brothers and sisters. We did them wrong. While we're fighting over this and that and the other, it all belonged to them. And they got relatively nothing but misery and murder in return. And so at the end of the day, we got to cry loud. We have to spare not. We have to lift up our voice like a trumpet. We have to show and tell America, these are the transgressions for all of these years. These are your transgressions, and we want to come together. We want to unify, and we will. We believe in diversity. We believe in equity. We believe in inclusion, but we also need to understand and have you understand your dastardly deeds cannot go undone without addressing what you did and who you did it to. You don't just pick up, start off like nothing ever happened. Yes, it did. I'm gonna unshade right here, because even as late as the 90s, there was during the time when, we've talked about this so many times. We've talked about this so many times on Yes You O Cubed about all the things that were going on and how land was so precious. And there was a black brother that was able to own his own land. And at the end of the day, ended up owning over 1,000 acres of land that they made a whole black community. They fed each other. They shared whatever the crops were. Then they went to the point where they wouldn't let them buy the seed. So they found out another way around that. Then in, I want to say in the 80s, I believe it was, and all the things were going on with the farms, constantly finding ways to try to get their land and shut them down. That black family just kept on. Then they went and they got rid of the farming, and then they started doing catfish farms for the farmers that weren't making any money, but no black people. Then the black man went and found a way to open up his catfish farm. Then they wouldn't sell him any feed for. And when he went to apply for the same benefits that his white counterparts were getting and getting an abundance of, he got nothing. And at the end of the day, he ended up with 300 acres out of 1,000. Out of 1,000. But this is why I unshaded. His children and grandchildren who had kept all their documentation and paperwork filed a lawsuit against the government and won. It took some going through, and the blessing of it was, how did they win? Because they had the paperwork. He happened to be one of those that was able to write, document, keep records, and store them. And so at the end of the day, he and his family won over $7 million. And that still was nothing. $7 million because they had to acknowledge they had operated completely in a racist manner. Now, he wasn't the only one. He was just the only one that was able to bring his documentation and get his stuff back. And at the end of the day, he took that $7 million check. And now, this is what's sad about it. He had to take $7 million that he won in the lawsuit to go buy his own land back, which he did. He should have had $7 million in his pocket and his land back. But see, that's what we do. Those are the games we want to play. Economic starvation. Yay for the family. That's exactly what it was. That's exactly what it was. They starved them out. Yay for, come on here, Monica. Thank you. Yay for the win. Let me get that in. Yay for the win. And for everybody that thinks that was a long time ago, that was I want to say it was in 1994. It may have been 1998. We're not talking about what happened in years gone by and all those people are dead. We're talking about what's happening now and continues to happen. De jure. On the books. Working around. Starving people out. Are y'all hearing me? And so as we come to the point where we recognize there is space and time for change, yay for the young lion at 23 that becomes the youngest pilot and a black young man for that Boeing 777. Hooray for him. Hooray for all of the different accomplishments in areas that have not been seen before. But it's going to take some work to really change all this around. So then that brings me, thank you for the like, Ann. That brings me to our final topic today before we get on to our empowerment. The election. And it comes down to this point where do we want to keep going down the path that we're on, or do we want change? Because understanding all of these dynamics are made possible or blocked by what we do in our government, what is done in our behalf. Now, you know, I look at it and I observe and I identify so many different things need to be addressed. How Royal Confession says it all the time. Vote. And this is what I want us to understand. And I'm not going to so much spend a lot of energy on the candidates, because everything that could be said, everything that could be done, it's done. It's a done deal. What I want to focus on is this, and this is why today is so important. We have numbers like we've never seen before go to the polls and vote. I think it's awesome. This is what I want you to hear. All of those votes are voices. Those are voices. And so if you can understand, and you hear I've been talking over and over again about the pride, Pride, of lions coming together. You hear our pause, PAWS, en masse. We've come together so that it sounds like thunder on the land. That's the pause, the PAWS of the lions that have banded together, coming for change, coming for diversity, coming for equity, coming for inclusion. We're coming for it. You're not going to stop us. We're coming for it. Diversity, we're coming for you. Equity, we're coming for you. Inclusion, we're coming for you. And you hear the pause of the lion that caused the other people to pause, PAUSE. And some of them are going to begin to hear more and more of their roar of a lion, and their paws are going to join our paws to change the cause. I feel that vote. If we think about all of these voices, it's almost like everybody is hollering into the universe at the same time. And Trigger, I think it was you that said a few episodes back that if everybody in the United States jumped at the same time, we would literally move the earth from its axis. Literally. That is the power of everybody coming together. So I'm listening and I'm saying all of this energy, all of these voices, all of these votes, and it doesn't even matter. They don't have to be for the same candidate. I'm just talking about the raising and the rising of the voice through the vote. All of this happening at the same time. I want you to feel the energy that's being released. The energy that's being set free in the United States of America right now, today. This is one of the most important days that we've ever had in the history of this country. And again, I'm not just focusing in on the two candidates and those that are running collectively across the country and all the other offices. I'm talking about when people begin to understand the power of frequency, the power of voice, the power of putting your voice and your vibrations out there into the earth to change the earth. This is a powerful day. We're hearing soprano, alto, tenor, bass, all of the different voices. Don't have to sing the same note. But what we are going to do is sing the same song. And the song that we're singing is for humanity. So when my Navajo sister, when that young lady got the tribes together and said, let's get on our horses in honor of our ancestors and ride to the polls as one, she was putting an energy and a frequency into the earth realm that will make a difference. She may have been a soprano, When we look at all of the black and brown skin that are coming out and saying, no, 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 we're done with this. Enough. It must change. It may be alto with the Navajo soprano, but at the end of the day, if I put soprano with the alto and then each of the groups, tenor, bass, mezzo soprano, you can go on down and break it first and second soprano, third soprano. You can keep breaking it down, that doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we're singing the same song, and the song that we're coming out with now that we will not deter from, we will not turn back, is that we insist and we demand that there be diversity for all people, that there be equity for all people, that there be inclusion for all people, and we are not free until we are all free. That's what's going on today. And the frequency, I need you all to hear me. The frequency that is being released by all of these voices speaking into the universe as one. That's why, listen, I want folks to vote a certain way, but treat it as one, Teresa. I want folks to vote a certain way, but listen, I'm not getting ready to go out here and act crazy and talk crazy and treat you crazy, because I realize I may be an alto and you may be a bass. I don't have to put the bass out of the choir. The bass is still a part of the choir. You just sing lower than I do. Your voice is lower than mine is. You may go deeper than my voice goes, whatever the case may be, but we're still one choir. That's it, Teresa. We're treated as one. And that is the frequency that we're putting into the earth today. Yeah, there's the organ, right on time. That is the frequency that we're putting into the earth. November the 3rd in the year 2020. That's it. And you got to respect my voice. Respect my voice. I was never so dismayed when I saw the trucks and the vehicles surround the Biden bus, and the truck try to force one of the vehicles out. You got to respect my voice. What are you doing? What are you doing? I will not be oppressed. I will not be intimidated. I will not be muzzled. What are you doing? Then when the leadership of that clan says, I love Texas. What? I got a shade on that. And understand, when I shade, I shed light. Leadership should be at the forefront of speaking and identifying right behavior. I don't throw shade, I shed light. That's it. I'm struggling to understand. I'm struggling to comprehend. Yes, and I have to shade on that. When people support that kind of behavior, if that's your overt behavior, we can only imagine what your covert and hidden behavior is. Because you showing me overtly everything I need to know. If you show and support oppression of the people, if you support muzzling of people's voices, if you support violence, I cannot support you. I don't care what y'all talking about. Policy. What policy can you give me when you support such dastardly things? And we're trying to get a choir that sings one song. Love, humanity, compassion, diversity, equity, inclusion, Peace. Come on. I support love and peace. Bring it to me, Trigger. Bring it. And that is the thing that I begin to say. My word for the day. My word. I feel it in my shando. Change. Let me spell it right. Is it cut off? Change. Change. We gotta have change. We gotta have change. And see, at the point in time that we are more concerned, and I thought about this. I said, when I look at something where people are second, I don't understand how people can support it. The wrongdoing, Teresa. That's what I'm on. When at this point, we just gonna talk truth, because change has come, y'all. Change is here. Change is here. A change has come over me. Change is here. I look at all of this and I said, when did people's lives become secondary? I'm trying to get that so that it's spelled right. It's just not all showing. I don't want y'all to think I'm retarded and I can't spell, like somebody else's tweets that we see and read every day. When did corporations become more important than people's lives? Because we'll care more about how well they fare. And there are people literally dying and starving in the streets. And it's like we don't care. I was saying to somebody, and I'm talking change. I was talking to somebody and I said, you know what? We have enough empty buildings that really we should not have any homeless in the United States of America. We shouldn't have one homeless person. We have enough property. It's all about power and money. Absolutely, sis. We have enough available empty property that we should not have one homeless. I'm talking about change today, y'all. I'm talking about the world I want to see, the world I want to be, the lion's pride, the pride of lions, the PRIDE of lions that are coming together, and they hear our paws, PAWS, like thunder on the ground, banded together. Because there's no reason why a country as wealthy as the United States of America, with as much money as we have, that anybody should be out there on the street. And we've got enough vacant, abandoned property that's in perfect shape that there's no reason why we should have homeless people. And look and listen at this. Many of them, individuals that have been turned away from mental institutions because those institutions no longer get funding because the government shut it down. I'm talking the truth here. I'm listening, and and folk can say, oh, that y'all really going into a whole place of socialism now. There is no reason that greedy people should prohibit and ban the ability for everybody that is in this country to have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Because you want to be greedy? Because you want to have all the money and pass all the money to your kids so you can do nothing but just squander it? I'm talking to somebody today. Oh yeah, and I don't care, because I want change. A change. A change. A change is coming. And it is not socialism to care for our brothers and our sisters. And I'm going to go back to my story about Sand Creek It wasn't yours to begin with. You stole it from somebody else. You killed somebody else to get it. You robbed somebody else to have it. You did all of this. Come on, Monica. You did all of this and grabbed up, you giddy ting, grabbed up all of this and then refuse, after abusing people to get it, to be humane and share. I'm not saying get out of your house. I'm saying them 20 houses that you got, you giddy thing, by hook and crook, you giddy ting. Your grandfather and grandmama got it, you giddy ting. Just let somebody use it. Atrocious thieves. I'm not asking you to change your lifestyle one bit. But rather than sit up and hoard for yourselves, what about your brother? What about your sister? The theme song y'all hear on O Cubed, I feel for my brother. I feel for my sister. Is our conscience so seared? Is our greed so important to us? And you can't even spend it all. You can't even use it all. And sitting up and saying, but my philanthropy, I give back. Listen, there's so much more that could be done. Hear me. And I'm looking and I'm identifying a change gonna come. Because it does not set right in my spirit that we have cut funding for mental health, put those folks on the street. We have cut money to the veterans and the benefits that they're supposed to have and denied them. We've done all kinds of dastardly things. And we're talking about folks that gave their lives for service to this country. And then to be treated like second class and second rate citizens. And the people don't care. When they changed the laws and put all of the mentally afflicted individuals on the street, cut off their treatment, cut off their means of living and habitation and dwelling, then you want to go out and tase them. Then you want to go out and shoot them. Talk about my brother. And they said to the officers when they arrived, no. He's mentally ill. He's got a mental condition. Handcuff, tase, shoot. What are we doing? You cut off the funding and then put them in the streets and then killed them for being in the streets because they're dangerous. They're not dangerous. They're mentally ill. And they need treatment. They're not criminals. But change, y'all. Change. But how do we get to this change? The pride, the PRIDE of lions, because we care about more than money. So, oh, you ain't got none. Listen, what we have, we can band it together. And when we start getting people, and this is where some of you all are going to come into play, change. Some of you that have been complacent, some of you young people. I'm glad Ann is in here today, Ann Irvin. Ann has started an organization, Sparkle Peach. Sparkle Peach is an organization that she has funded from the ground up. And corporations are funding it. Individuals are supporting it. I encourage you to go out if you want to support it. Sparklepeach.org, sparklepeach.com. I don't know, put it in the chat for me, Ann. But this is the thing. Young ladies who don't have, and listen, that during your formal years of teenagers and young adulthood who have not the ability to take care of their personal hygiene needs, that has a tremendous impact on a woman, on a little girl, on a young person's life. So what has she done? She has created something to fill in the gap so those young babies don't suffer, so that their personal hygiene is provided for. Some people that, and I need you to hear this, and I'm not trying to be funny here. Some people that stink don't want to stink. Some people that smell bad do not want to smell bad. They don't have the means. And I'm saying right now, what do we need to do? Come on, Ann. If you're still out there, put your link in for Sparkle Peach. Because listen, we support one another. Sparkle Peach. Because somebody's been there before. Somebody's experienced it before. And it doesn't have to continue on. Change. How does that change come? We bring it. We do it. We become the change that we want to see. Those in chat, www.sparklepeach.com. Facebook is Sparkle Peach Inc. We got all kinds of ways that we can be the change. I know I'm telling the truth, SK. I know I'm telling the truth. We can change this thing. So many times we're looking and we're wondering how change gonna come. Us. And come on, I want you to really understand, that's the way change always comes. Seldom, if ever, has it been because of this and that and the other in the big picture. It has usually come from individuals that come together and say, we have the ability to make a change. Never doubt that a small group of people that are thoughtful and committed can change the world. That is the only thing that ever has. That's what Margaret Mead said. That's a quote from Margaret Mead. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful people that are committed can change the world. All we need to do is be committed and thoughtful and do it. Nothing's stopping us. You're looking for change to come from here and there. And yes, there's change on, hear me. I know this is a big voting day. The turnout is huge. I'm loving every second of it because I believe it's going to be a good outcome. But at the end of the day, regardless of who's sitting in those chairs in government, change is us. Change is from us. Changes through us. We are the change. And this is what I want us to understand. Even for those in authority, now that we are activating our spidey senses activate. Now that we are activating our spidey senses, whatever gifts we have, whatever uniqueness is us, that is us. Now that we're activating that and the pride, P-R-I-D, of lions is coming together, we will now actively begin to lead from behind in that what we want our legislatures to represent, what we want our representatives, our senators, what we want them to do, speak, and say on our behalf, we're going to demand it. No more laying down and rolling over and playing dead. We're going to demand it. We're going to demand it at the local level. We're going to demand it at the state level. We're going to demand it at the federal level. We're going to demand it in our neighborhoods. Everything that can be transformed, we have the power to do it. I'm talking about change. And I want us to feel the power of the lion. I keep telling you, my ministry at this point right now, I'm not worried about preaching to the little lambs. I'm not worried about preaching to the little lambs. I'm talking to the lions that understand that you have the ability to make a difference in this world. You have the ability to be the king of the jungle. And it doesn't matter the size of the prey. It doesn't matter the size of the obstacle. Because I know I am a lion and you're going to hear me roar. I'm not intimidated by size. I'm not intimidated. Matter of fact, I've seen where even in some instances, it may take a group of lions to tackle one animal and subdue it, but it can be done. And I'm encouraging a group of lions to tackle. And I don't want us to leave one stone unturned. I want complete diversity. I want equity, not just for black and brown bodies. I want equity for everybody. And let's keep it real. There are many white bodies that are not treated fairly. I said there are many white bodies that are not treated fairly. This country responds to green money. And if you don't have it, I don't care what color you are, you can find yourself trampled underfoot. And so we're advocating everybody treated as one, as Teresa said. I want to see us treated because we are one. And that's the metamorphosis that today is releasing. That's the change that these voices crying out are speaking. Love and peace, Trigger. That is what's coming out. That is the change that must be spoken forth. And so as we begin to move toward that paradigm and we shift, we are the people who can do it. SK 8843. We are. There is no obstacle that can stop us. Do you hear the thunder of the paws, the PAWS, the paws of the lions? We're coming with a cause and we're coming on purpose. I'm a lion and you're going to hear me roar. It's a relentless march. We're relentless in this. We got power. We have the ability. We have the strength. We have the wherewithal. That 23-year-old, kudos. 23 years old, and you can master and become certified to fly a Boeing 777. Hooray! It can be done. And he's not the only one. Sometimes you just need to see somebody do it first. You hear what I said? And some of you are going to be models. That's how the change is going to come for me. Some of you now are called to be models of the change. I'm going to say it again. Malik and what he has done in becoming the youngest certified 777 Boeing pilot, young black man, 23 years old. Now he can model it to some other want-to-be pilots. Somebody been flying that little model plane around for a minute, dreaming, one day, I want to be a pilot. Change, Monica. That's what I'm talking about. Change. That's my word for the day. Because at the end of the day, we can't keep going like this. You're going to hear me roar. Come on, Rebel. This pride is relentless. You're going to hear us roar. We're not going to have 4 more of the same. And this is what I want you to hear when you hear me say that. Even if, against my will for sure, but even if this administration gets back in the office, we're going to roar. We're going to roar. You're going to hear us roar. We're relentless in this. A change must come. We're relentless in our focus. We're focused on this. You hear me? We're committed to it. We have courage in this. We cannot stop until it's full diversity. And what did I say? And I'm going to keep saying it over and over and again so that we can get it down in our shondo. I need you to get it. I feel it. I need you to get this down in your shondo. We're not going to stop until our goal of 100% comes to fruition. Oh, you won't ever get 100%. It's no problem with reaching for it. It's no problem with pushing for it. It's no problem advocating for it. That's not a problem at all. We're going to keep right on. We don't want anybody left out. Hear me when I say that. So I want people to understand we're not trying to come up with a new racist or a new divisionist concept. I want everybody to come together. You hear me talking about black people because I'm black. I'm talking to my people and I want us to come forward. But this is for everybody. Everybody. We are not, come on, we gonna keep on keeping on them, baby. That's what, keep on keeping on them, baby. We're gonna keep on keeping on until we see the vision come to pass. Now, we looked at some things, and this is going on in our area. Term limits is out there. Yeah, you vote however you feel. You know, we've talked about it. I feel like there need to be some term limits. However, it's on the ballot. Whatever you believe, vote your conscience. But it's on there because something needs to change. Are you hearing me? We need to look at how we take care of our children. Something needs to change. I'm going to tell you straight up, one of the things that I didn't pull in today, but I probably need to, 61,000 children contracted COVID last week. 61,000 children contracted COVID last week. That's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. Our children mean more to us than vote on the ballot so I can argue about abortion. What's the point if you're not going to take care of them after they get here? If you're going to abuse them, misuse them, expose them? Really? Change. I'm talking about the man in the mirror. I'm talking about changing his ways. And at the end of the day, I don't care who gets mad because I want to challenge the minds of the people. If you're advocating, I'm anti-abortion, but those same children you're pushing and don't care that they're being exposed to a virus needlessly and without thought and care for the children, I'm sorry, but I believe you're a hypocrite. Maybe you're confused. Maybe you don't understand. I don't know. But if you want to insist that they be here, I want you to insist that you take care of them after they're here. Everybody's children, not just some of the children. Black boys and girls are not disposable. Indigenous people's children are not target practice. These lives and these bodies matter. And if you're not going to give education, if you're not going to feed, if you're not going to clothe, if you're not going to provide adequate housing, if you're not going to provide medical health care, if you're not going to provide preventive medications, if you're going to treat them as third world children when they do show up for medical care, I need you to stop talking about abortions because you're a hypocrite. If you're not going to do it all, be quiet. Did I say something? Regina, are you advocating? I'm saying you need to advocate for the children and the lives of the people. And then when they get to be 16 and 17, stop being scared. Then when they get to be 21 and 22, stop being scared. And when they get these ages and levels where you're fearful of them and want to put them down like dogs and rabid animals, I need you to check yourself because you look and you sound like a hypocrite to me. The children are the way. They're our pride and our future and our life trigger. They are. And if you don't care about young lives, you got to change. And guess what? We gonna change you. Do you hear the rumble? The rumble in the jungle. And it ain't Muhammad Ali. But while I'm talking about that brother, let me tell you, that brother was a true activist. And he was serious about that thing. And whether people liked him or hated him, he told the truth. The whole truth. And nothing but the truth as it related to civil rights. And folks didn't want to hear it. And this was the thing about him. That title didn't mean enough to him. It didn't mean more to him than speaking his truth as a black man. Because all day, every day, when he woke up, his skin was black. I love it. There's a rumble in the jungle. You hear the paws of the lion that said, you've got to take care of our babies. For me, I've always had a little bit of something down in me. But when you start messing with my babies, and when the babies start coming here and I'm saying and looking, I don't want them to go through 57 years of what I've been through and no progress. Change gonna come. Change is gonna come. Can I say this? This is a true story. Yesterday, babies from our congregation were accosted in their online class because they're saying it was hacked in. I don't know if it was hacked in or somebody from the school district. Nonetheless, somebody hacked in and called my babies the N-word. Ooh, I see some N's up in here. I told the mama, where do I need to come? Cause something down in my shondo got stirred up. You're not gonna call my babies the N-word. Now, you got them hostage because they gotta be in this online class. You mean to tell me you cannot get enough security to your system to keep people from hacking in? And isn't it mighty interesting? They hacked in to call my babies the N-word. Change is inevitable, Royal Confession. Change is inevitable. You hear me? Because that shall not stand. On another note, not just physically, take care of your baby spiritually as well. We just bought a nighttime prayer book for your son and he's taking it well. Oh, I love that. I love that. I love that. Spiritually, Because this is the reality of it. And anybody that knows me know that I teach. The children are spiritual. Yes, Royal Confessions. They called them the N-word. I see N's up in here. And then I'm offended because, you know, they're in the school district where there is not a lot of us. So who are you talking to? Where they at? And that's exactly what I said. That's exactly what I said. Shoot. And Jonathan said, I started to call you, but I calmed down. I said, I ain't calm. I'm not calm. Don't come up in here calling none of my babies out of their name. But that's the reality. But a change is inevitable. Change is going to come. And so at the end of the day, I want to go back to Trigger's point. We need to take care of them spiritually. We need to cover them spiritually. We need to teach and instruct them spiritually. And we need to allow them to develop and cultivate, because they are spiritual beings. Even at whatever age they are, they come here spiritual. Listen, ban and blacklist them if it was. At the end of the day, stupidity needs to have its voice muffled. That kind of stupidity needs to stop. It needs to be muted. And we need to unmute ourselves. It's unacceptable. We're not going to have it. And wherever and whomever it is that's propagating it, it's got to go. And SK 8843, I don't know what the teacher did. Definitely tried to deny. I will say the denial was put out. They believe it was a hack. They don't think it came from within the district. Whatever. I want to know, what is the district and what has the district done? You know, you're online. And this is the thing. Folks don't want to pay for good firewalls and whatever they need to do. And literally, that's what they're going to need as they get older, that spiritual background. That's it, Monica, because that is the anchor that makes all the difference in the world. And I'm saying, even to the listeners that are listening in, the energy, your spiritual journey, I want you to be anchored. I want you to have that at the forefront. I want to speak to that spirit where your conscience and the spiritual can be your guide, where you can really rely and lean on your spirituality to lead you and guide you into all truth. Children are so curious, and that curiosity brings them closer to God. And I feel like even that curiosity that's in them, Trigger, is God rising up in them that wants to cause them to question and ask. And all roads lead back to God if you really put them in spirit and in truth on the right path and the right journey. Thank you for interjecting that. And that's a change we want to see too, because too long we have left off bringing our babies into their spiritual awareness and cultivating and developing that within them so that they can have the spiritual, the mental, the emotional stamina to stand up against the challenges and the negativity that would want to come at them, and allow them to really be curious, to be creative, to be genius in their imagination, that is able to create outside of the box, that's not limited to inside this little box right here, where they can now get the fullest potential of all of the creativity that's in them being developed to its fullest potential. Change for the babies. We're not going to muzzle them spiritually, physically, or naturally. Emotionally, unchain our babies, unchain the children. And so as we come into that place, and that's where we are, you know, and I'm gonna say this, just as an observation, I noted when I start talking about caring about the babies, and if you're going to stand for abortion, you gotta stand for their lives after, or if you're standing against abortion, I'm sorry, then you gotta stand for their lives after that. You can't just say we want to be pro-life, but then you're not pro-living. Thank you for the biddies, and be pro-living of that life after they get here. I saw viewers walking out. Go ahead and walk out. The seed's been planted in your mind. You got to change. You got to change. Care for the life throughout, or else sit down somewhere and stop. I need you to have 2 seats. Sit down somewhere and stop preaching to me. If you're not going to take care of the babies, if you're not going to genuinely see about them, we still going to be right here. Still going to be right here. Because at the end of the day, take care. We need to look at our elderly. We need to look at our sick. We need to look at our mentally ill. And, you know, I say this, and we're coming to the close of the broadcast. I'm talking about change. I am a firm believer, and for those that are Bible scholars, and I'm not going to do a sermon, but I want to address this point. Cain killed Abel. And after Cain killed Abel, there was a mark put on him. He was driven out. There was a mark put on him. And then we see that same homicidal spirit manifest down the road. And this is the thing, that mark, and really the scripture doesn't tell us what that mark is, but I'm gonna tell you what the mark I believe is. I believe the mark was a mental illness, because I think when you take life, something in you is changed and transformed forever, unless somebody can help you out of that. And what, even in this law, even in the biblical, a lot of times if you could get to the horn of the altar, or whatever the case was going on, I believe that mental illness manifested, and I'm not saying that in a negative way, because I'm definitely not anti-mental illness. I believe that it needs our attention and it needs our love. And one of the reasons why I come here is because that was the thing. He said, I'm gonna put a mark on him so that nobody can touch him. And even when I think of the laws today, what is the one area that they will still at least have some consideration and care? By reason of insanity, by reason of some mental defect, by reason of some mental order. It hurts them mentally, Trig. I cannot tell you. I have, in numerous instances, dealt with particularly those of the Vietnam age that went and came back, of my black brothers, and devastated. And many times in the midst of their drinking, in the midst of their high, in the midst of their lack of sobriety, using whatever, it was really a cry trying to get away from the memories of having killed. And I always came from a place of love, because, and I think that's why they would come to me and just start talking. I don't care. They might call me 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning crying, Regina, I need to talk. And when you hear, and a lot of times they don't share the stories with people because it's just too traumatic. And when I would hear the stories of the things that they endured, even as it related sometimes to little children and women, it's hard. It's a transformation that happens, y'all. It's a transformation that happens. And I feel within my heart that there's that mark of mental illness always needs care and compassionate hands. That's what I'm trying to get to. Whether or not you espouse to my concept of that was the mark when God said, no, don't touch them, leave them alone. Anybody that touches them, it's going to be 7 times worse for you. Because I feel that there's something. Many of us are 1 minute away from being halfway insane our own self in this day and age. And that's a true word. And I tell people, I know there was a season in time when I know my feet touched down on insanity. I know it. I know they did. And so there's something about having compassion. And when we look at those again, my heart goes out that we've closed down and cut off resources for so many areas for the mentally ill. I feel like we really, really, really need to change. We got to change. Because if we need to take care of anybody, along with our children and along with our elderly, we need to provide care and love for those that are mentally challenged. And that's the change that I want to see. And that's the change that I want to be. Am I talking to anybody in here? Because at the end of the day, I know that we all see change that needs to happen around us. Now, I may not have touched on everything today because it's so much. But this is what I want you to carry as your takeaway. That today, November the 3rd, in the year 2020, today, what we see by means of voting, by means of voicing, by means of frequency being put out there in the universe, that's us changing the world. We're lions, and you're going to hear us roar. We're lions, and we're not coming to destroy. We're coming to build up. We're lions, and we are not afraid. We have courage to stand in this hour. We have courage to speak up for what's right. We have courage to speak for. Come on and say amen. We have courage to speak for those who cannot speak for themselves. We have courage to be a voice for the voiceless. We have courage to not allow victims to continue to be victimized, but we speak and stop the perpetrators. And we have courage to say to the people that you've mistreated, to the people that you've done wrong, at bare minimum, come on and say amen. At bare minimum, you're going to apologize. But even to that, come on and roar. Even to that, I say, go back and make it right. This pride is relentless. You're going to hear us roar. Am I talking to anybody in here? Am I talking to anybody up in this house on this fine day? Oh, I feel for my brother. Keep on roaring. Keep on roaring. Keep on roaring. Because we coming at you. I want you to hear the thunder of our paws, P-A-W-S, because this pride is relentless, and you're going to hear us roar. I love y'all with the love of the Lord today. Y'all just my babies. Y'all make me feel so good. Oh, yeah, you make me feel good. I hope that something I said here on today is helping you, because at the end of the day, we are in here. Thank you for the biddies. Thank you for the biddies. I appreciate you. This is Regina L. Stillman, your spiritual thought leader. You've been live with me this morning on Yes You O Cubed, one-on-one, just me and you. I want you to join me on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Patreon, Twitter, Twitch, Anchor, Discord. I'm out there, baby. I'm out there. You can follow me any one of those locations. And thank you for the biddies. Thank you for the biddies. I appreciate you all. You can join me on Sunday evening at 6 o'clock. Yes, You with Friends. Join myself with Jonna, Rhonda, Tyrone, And yes, the galactic supervisor. She's in the house on Sunday evenings, 6 o'clock. And it's just me and my friends. We talk and we chat. We chat it up and have a good time. And we invite you to come on up in the house and chat with us Sundays at 6 o'clock. Now, as my friend Rhonda Royal says, if you don't deal with it, it will deal with you. Am I talking to anybody? If you don't deal with it, it will deal with you. I want you to be the change. It's not just enough to say you want to change, but I need for you to be the change. Am I talking to anybody in here? And you know, I'm trying to get this thought over. It's us, you, me, we, all. That's the way we're rolling up in here because we believe in diversity, equity, and inclusion of all. I love you. I appreciate you for coming in and chatting with me this morning. And as I always say on the way out, I want you to have peace for your journey.